Nick and Joan Allen reassured me that it was because I understood it was a highly daring thing to attempt. Grease blazed on the screen 30 years ago, with songs, dances, and romance that never seemed to go out of style. However, John Travolta has kept a secret up until now. He has finally disclosed what actually transpired behind the cameras after all those years. Furthermore, it is not at all what fans had dreamed of. His admission revealed unseen hardships and decisions that shaped the film. Come along as we reveal the mystery behind A Love Story, one of Hollywood's most cherished musicals. One of the most well-known musicals ever produced is the film Grease. Randall Kaiser was the director, and it was released in 1978. The theatrical musical of the same name served as the inspiration for the movie. It became an international hit as soon as it was released. The dancing, the music, and the central love tale were all adored by the crowd. More than 40 years later, younger generations continue to watch and love it. Ryle High, a fictional American high school, is the setting for the story, which is set in the 1950s. John Travolta's character, Danny Zuko, and Olivia Newton-John's character, Sandy Olsen, are the primary characters. Danny and Sandy first cross paths during summer vacation at the beginning of the film. They have a brief romance after falling in love. They both believe they won't ever see one another again. However, Sandy moves to Ryle High, which Danny also attends, when the school year starts. Thus, the film's primary drama takes place. Danny belongs to a group known as the T-Birds. This group of tough, leather-jacketed boys hangs out together and acts like they're cool. Sandy makes friends with the T-Birds' close-knit group of stylish girls, known as the Pink Ladies. The film chronicles Danny and Sandy's attempts to maintain their friendship while navigating peer pressure, high school, and personal growth. There is a lot of music in the film that gained immediate popularity. Classics include Grease Lightning, You're the One That I Want, Summer Nights, and Hopelessly Devoted to You. Every song brought something unique to the narrative. The disparity between Danny and Sandy's descriptions of their summer romance is demonstrated in Summer Nights. While Sandy presents her case in a more romantic manner, Danny boasts to his pals in an attempt to appear tough. Sandy's rendition of Hopelessly Devoted to You is among the most poignant songs. She believes that Danny has changed and is no longer interested in her, which is why she is currently devastated. Her sensitivity and intense emotions are evident in the song. One of Olivia Newton-John's most famous performances was in this song. The rest of the film, in which both characters battle with their emotions and image, is set up by this song. In Grease, the dance scenes are particularly striking. There is a lot of vibrant costumes, upbeat music, and friendly competition in the high school dance competition scene. Sandy and Danny attempt to dance together, but Cha, another girl, interrupts and wins with Danny. In addition to creating tension between Danny and Sandy, this scene advances the plot. The movie's high point is the last carnival scene. Sandy chooses to alter her appearance and surprise Danny after going through a lot of ups and downs. She arrives with a confident demeanor, wearing form-fitting black attire, and her hair styled differently. Danny is both excited and shocked. Additionally, he wears a Letterman sweater in an attempt to demonstrate his willingness to adapt. They collaborate on the song You're the One That I Want, which went on to become one of the all-time best-selling singles. The entire ensemble sings We Go Together as the carnival comes to a close, honoring love, friendship, and youthful vitality. Grease's success was enormous. At the box office, it brought in over $300 million, which was a significant amount at the time. Millions of copies of the soundtrack album were sold globally as well. Both Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta became international celebrities as a result of the movie. Saturday Night Fever had already brought Travolta recognition, but Grease further increased it. The movie brought Olivia Newton-John, who was mostly renowned as a singer, to a whole new level of stardom. Grease evolved into more than just a film over time. It turned to become a phenomena of culture. People dressed up as the characters, conducted sing-along screenings, and recited quotes from the movie. Theaters and high schools presented their own adaptations of the musical. The fashion of the 1950s was once again praised. Michelle Pfeiffer and Maxwell Caulfield starred in the Grease 2 sequel, which came out in 1982. It did not, however, achieve the same degree of success as the original. Grease's legacy endures to this day. Older fans come back to it nostalgically, and new audiences keep finding it. In a timeless manner, the film blends comedy, drama, romance, and music. It is fundamentally a tale about identity, teenage love, and the challenges of fitting in. The film feels new even after all these years. Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta have praised the movie, describing it as one of the most significant moments in their professional lives. That's not all, though. John Travolta's revelation of the truth. Nobody could have predicted that Grease, which debuted in 1978, would end up being one of the most adored musicals ever. It gave Olivia Newton-John a place in film history, and made John Travolta an even bigger star. However, many were unaware of the truths hidden underneath all the vibrant dance moves and upbeat melodies. Travolta was quiet for years, but gradually he started talking about what actually transpired. Travolta's Saturday Night Fever fame was already well established. He had become the face of disco, because to the movie. However, when Grease arrived, many questioned his ability to portray the rugged yet endearing high school outlaw, Danny Zuko. Later, Travolta acknowledged that the pressure was really high. The studio was depending on him to get viewers, so he felt he had to carry the movie. He was also aware that his burgeoning career might end if he failed. One of the first things he revealed was about Olivia Newton-John, his co-star. Olivia wasn't sure, but the studio really wanted her. She was concerned that she was too old to portray a teenager, and that, should the movie fail, it might harm her singing career. She was advocated for by Travolta. Since he felt that no one else could provide Sandy with the sweetness and power she required, he battled to have her cast. In retrospect, he acknowledged that the film would never have succeeded without her. However, the filming was far from flawless. Later, Travolta discussed the hard hours, the heat during the outdoor scenes, and the necessity of repeatedly reshooting dance moves until they were flawless. For instance, the last carnival scene was shot in oppressive heat. Makeup melted, tempers raged, and cast members passed out. Fans, however, only perceive pleasure and excitement when they see the film. To make it appear effortless, the cast had to endure tiredness, Travolta explained. He was honest about his own performance issues as well. Despite appearing effortless on film, the dance took weeks of practice. There were times when Travolta felt he couldn't keep up because he hurt his ankle during rehearsals, but he would not back down. He believed Danny Zuko needed to appear powerful, slick, and energetic. So, despite the pain, he persisted in pushing himself. Travolta also disclosed information regarding the well-known handjive scene. Due to the intricate choreography, numerous members of the cast fell behind. In order for the group to keep up, Travolta acknowledged that he surreptitiously requested that the choreographer slow down or alter some of the moves. He was aware that the entire movie would suffer if the sequence appeared disorganized. That choice ultimately paid off, as the moment turned out to be among the most memorable in the film. Travolta also disclosed a more profound aspect of the narrative. Travolta always saw more in Grease, despite some critics dismissing it at the time as a light youthful romance with catchy tunes. According to him, the movie depicted the conflict between identity and love, between who you perceive yourself to be and who you are prepared to become for someone you love. Danny and Sandy were more than simply cartoon characters to him. They served as metaphors for how difficult it is for young people to mature, fit in, and discover who they are. Even the well-known conclusion has a deeper significance. According to Travolta, Danny demonstrates his readiness to adapt for Sandy by donning the Letterman's jumper. Additionally, Sandy's choice to take charge of her image is demonstrated when she walks out in leather. Travolta claimed that the ending's potency came from this harmony of giving and receiving. It was more than just love. It had to do with change. Travolta acknowledged years after how the popularity of the movie altered his life. Grease became well known throughout the world, bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars. But pressure came along with that notoriety. People expected him to be Danny Zuko everywhere he went. Travolta claimed that he found that difficult, since he desired to develop as an actor and play more significant parts. Nevertheless, people always went back to Grease, regardless of what he accomplished. Realizing that the film's delight provided individuals something they clung to for decades, he came to terms with it. His truth also contained sadness. He was deeply affected by Olivia Newton-John's death in 2022. Even after years of not working together, Travolta acknowledged that their Greek kinship remained strong. He claimed that she was not just his co-star but also his friend, and that the film's enchantment was brought home to him during their final meeting at anniversary events. Ultimately, John Travolta's revelation of the truth about Grease was a project full of dangers, difficulties, and intense feelings that influenced the movie rather than a single sinister secret. Through perseverance and faith, the project came together after nearly collapsing at various stages. Travolta demonstrated that there was hardship, sweat, and difficult decisions behind the fun. Grease remains one of the most beloved musicals in history, even after more than 40 years. Fans can now view the movie in a different way because of Travolta's candor. Teenage fantasies and summer evenings weren't the only things involved. In order to produce something unforgettable, artists have to push themselves to the edge. The gift of friendship is the fact that gives the film even greater significance today. One of Hollywood's most cherished friendships was that between John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. Their collaboration on the film Grease marked the beginning of their relationship. She portrayed Sandy Olson, the shy and kind girl who falls in love with him, while he played Danny Zuko, the cool T-Erd's commander. Because of their intense on-screen connection, many people thought they were actually in love. However, their relationship did not develop into a romance. It was a friendship based on caring, respect, and affection that lasted a lifetime. Both of them were at pivotal stages of their careers when they first met on the set of Grease. With Saturday Night Fever, John had recently risen to fame. Although Olivia was already well known for her singing, she had never acted in a big-budget motion picture. John had been there for her from the start. Because he thought she was the ideal Sandy, he even campaigned for her to be cast. Without his support, Olivia subsequently admitted she might not have accepted the position. His early encouragement demonstrated his appreciation for her ability. They practiced, danced, and acted out sequences together for many hours during filming. Their performances were credible because of their innate connection. Something amazing was produced by the way they gazed at one another on film, laughed together, and moved throughout the musical parts. They grew close behind the camera, cracking laughs, and supporting one another during the challenging periods. Their relationship only became closer once Grease was freed. Both of them suddenly became even more well-known once the film became a worldwide blockbuster. Fame bound them together rather than tearing them apart. They frequently made appearances together at celebrations of the movie's success. John and Olivia frequently clarified that their friendship, not romance, was the foundation of their relationship. In response to fans' incessant questions about whether they were dating, trust was one of the reasons their relationship lasted so long. Relationships in Hollywood tend to end abruptly, but John and Olivia had a great deal of trust in one another. They could depend on one another for guidance and assistance. John appreciated Olivia's grace and kindness. Even though Olivia appreciated John's friendliness and devotion, they never allowed rumors or gossip to sour their relationship. Instead, they consistently praised one another in interviews over the years. They collaborated once more in the 1983 film Two of Ained. The two performers still liked working together, even though the movie did not achieve the same level of popularity as Grease. More important to them than box office performance was their friendship. They maintained communication and got together for special occasions, even when they were apart for extended periods of time. During the Greek anniversaries, their relationship was even more apparent. John and Olivia stood together on stage for the 20th anniversary in 1998 and the 40th anniversary in 2018, frequently dressed as their respective personas. When they sang and danced again, fans were ecstatic. These reunions demonstrated how strong their relationship had always been. Their bond extended well beyond the film, as evidenced by the joy they shared when performing together. Olivia had a difficult existence, particularly throughout her protracted fight with cancer. John was there for her during those trying years. He frequently praised her bravery and referred to her as an inspiration. He commended her for facing her challenges head-on with courage and optimism. Olivia, on the other hand, consistently characterized John as a faithful friend who never failed her. As they grew older, their friendship became even more solid due to their mutual support. John and Olivia both stated that friendship was better for them, despite the fact that fans occasionally wished they had been a pair. They clarified that the enchantment of their professional relationship might have been destroyed if they had dated while they were in Greece. Rather, they preserved that magic for decades by remaining friends. Because of their mutual respect, they were able to form a friendship that lasted for almost 40 years, something that is uncommon in Hollywood. John was devastated at Olivia's death in 2022. He talked candidly about his loss and how much she had meant to him. Losing her was like losing a member of his family. He vowed that her spirit will always be with him and referred to her as a light in his life. Because they had witnessed their friendship for so long and understood how unique it was, fans everywhere shared his pain. The tale of John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John is about a friendship that lasted rather than a romance. They demonstrated that two celebrities could co-dominate without rivalry, envy, or controversy. They were pure in their love, loyalty, and kindness to one another. Their relationship gave Grease additional significance, since viewers sensed that what they were seeing on TV was based on real-life events. In addition to Danny and Sandy, John and Olivia, the friends who shared laughter, songs, and support for over 40 years, come to mind when people remember them together now. Their bond serves as evidence that friendships can occasionally outweigh romantic relationships. It can provide greater consolation, prolong life, and leave a lasting memory. In interviews and appearances, John keeps Olivia's memory alive and shares anecdotes about her, in remembrance of her. The friendship they had together would always rank among his life's greatest blessings. It serves as a reminder to followers that genuine friendships are uncommon, but can endure a lifetime when they do occur. In the meantime, fans might not have noticed certain strange facts and errors that were observed in Grease. Let's examine a few of them. Grease, behind the scenes, has been a household name for decades. Danny and Sandy's love story, the vibrant dance sequences, and the catchy melodies are all remembered. However, there were a lot of odd facts and amusing errors that occurred while filming, which are hidden beneath the polished film that viewers see on screen. The cast later shared some of these bloopers as stories, while others made it into the final cut. Observing Grease is made even more fascinating by these minor features. Olivia Newton-John, who portrayed Sandy, has an odd fact. In reality, she was 29 years old when the movie started, much older than a high school student in real life. At the age of 23, John Travolta was likewise older than the average adolescent. Many of the performers who portrayed high school students were actually in their late 20s or early 30s. Stockard Channing was 33 years old when he portrayed Rizzo. Nevertheless, the performers were so enthusiastic that the crowd believed they were high school students. Another mistake occurs in the film's last carnival scene. It was really hot outside when the movie was being filmed. The cast danced in the sun while sporting bulky costumes and leather coats. The heat caused several people to faint or feel ill. However, nobody would have guessed how unpleasant it was in the finished film. Despite their difficulties off camera, everyone appeared happy and vivacious. The carnival scene also features an odd costume gaffe. Sandy is sporting red high-heeled shoes when she first arrives in her black leather ensemble. The shoes appear to have changed between takes in a few of the photos. The majority of fans are too preoccupied with Sandy's metamorphosis to notice this error, which was accidentally made during editing. Sandy's leather pants from the last scene are another fascinating detail. Olivia Newton-John had to be sewed into them because they were so tight. Even though she was hardly able to move, the scene became one of the most famous in film history. During filming, there were also several amusing errors. Travolta and the T-Birds sing about their automobile being automatic in the well-known Grease Lightning song, yet the car in the film is obviously a manual stick shift. Even though it was a minor detail, those with keen eyes caught the error. At Ryle High, another error occurs during the dance competition. When introducing the regulations, the announcer states that touching any part of the body is prohibited. However, couples are observed holding and touching one another in ways that are against the rules during the competition. The announcer doesn't seem to care, and no one stops them. It developed into a humorous contradiction that persisted throughout the film. There is also a blooper in the hand-of sequence. The audience is shown when Danny and Sandy are dancing. Although the extras may be seen clapping along, there is one image when the clapping is totally out of sync with the music. He got the idea that acting might be a part of his life after seeing his mother perform and educate. John was a lively and inquisitive child. He frequently performed small acts for his family, since he liked to make them laugh. He also had a passion for aircraft, and hoped to become a pilot in the future. Still, performing was his greatest passion. He enjoyed acting, dancing, and singing. Because his siblings were also interested in the arts, the Travolta household was vibrant and encouraged artistic expression. Despite attending Dwight Merrow High School, John struggled to fit in. Unlike many of his classmates, he was unique. John was more interested in acting and dancing than others were in sports or education. He felt uncomfortable because of this. He also made the decision to drop out of school at the age of 17 in order to pursue his passion of becoming an actor. Although it was a bold decision, he felt he had the skill and will to succeed. John left school and relocated to New York City. There were plenty of chances for young performers in the city. He trained as a voice actor, dancer, and actor. Additionally, he attended auditions, occasionally being turned down but never losing up. Being chosen for the touring company of the musical Grease was one of his first significant opportunities. He gained confidence and theatrical experience by playing a minor part. He then had an appearance in the Broadway musical Over Here, which exposed him to a wider audience. John put in a lot of effort to pay his debts throughout this time. He pursued his dream despite working at menial jobs. He occasionally had financial difficulties, but his love of acting kept him going. He began to draw notice gradually. He started making appearances in TV ads in the early 1970s. He received some financial support and practiced appearing in front of cameras, thanks to these tiny roles. Moving to Los Angeles, where the film and television industries were flourishing, was his next move. After trying out for several parts there, he eventually landed his first movie job in 1975, playing a minor part in the horror thriller, The Devil's Rain. The film was a start, despite its lack of success. Although he was given guest appearances on TV series, he had not yet achieved stardom. When he was cast in the television series Welcome Back, Kotter in 1975, everything changed. He portrayed Vinnie Barbarino, a witty and endearing high school kid, who swiftly rose to the top of the show's popularity ratings. Audiences adored John because of his innate charm, attractive appearance, and humorous timing. Because of his character, Jay became well known throughout the 4 seasons of the show. All of a sudden, he was well known in America. John started getting offers for movie parts at the same time. In 1976, he made his breakthrough performance as the lead in the horror film Carrie, which was adapted from Stephen King's book. He portrayed the ruthless adolescent Billy Nolan. Additionally, although playing a supporting role, the film was a huge hit and helped him get noticed by viewers. However, Saturday Night Fever in 1977 was the true tipping point. John portrayed Tony Manero in this movie, a young Brooklynite who used disco dancing as an escape from his problems. Acting, dancing, and emotional depth were all necessary for the role. John put a lot of effort into his preparation for the role, spending hours honing his motions, and it paid off. John received accolades for his portrayal, and the movie became a global sensation. He received an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor at the young age of 23. He became a huge movie star almost immediately after playing this part. He had even more success the next year, in 1978, when he returned to the musical that had given him an early stage role in Grease. He once again displayed his charm, singing ability, and dancing prowess while portraying Danny Zuko. His status as one of Hollywood's most promising young stars was solidified by the film's success at the box office. When considering his early years, John's path was not easy. He had to deal with rejection, financial difficulties, and the possibility of dropping out of school early. But he persevered because of his willpower, self-confidence, and love of performing. He was inspired by his family's artistic heritage and developed his skills during his training in New York. He was prepared to shine when he took the stage with Saturday Night Fever and then Grease. The ascent of John Travolta demonstrates how perseverance and hard effort can pay off. From a young actor in New Jersey, he became a worldwide celebrity. His early decisions influenced his future, and he was able to establish himself in Hollywood by being prepared to take chances. By the late 1970s, he was one of the world's top cinema stars, in addition to being a darling on television. Please click the next video that appears on your screen, like and subscribe if you like this one. Music.